Okay, so today I am going to show you a very interesting video of Wazuh, which is the email configuration. So I have listed down some tasks here we are going to perform in this lab, but let's start from the beginning. So I need to make you understand about three things here: log alert label, email alert label, and alert by email options. So let's find out one by one. Let's go to Wazuh server. Okay, we now are in the Wazuh server. So let's go to OSEC configuration file, which is nano var OSEC etc and OSEC configuration. Okay. So here, if you scroll down a little bit within OSEC config global tag, you will find two options to alert here, which is log alert label and email alert label. Why this is important? This is important because Wazuh first option log alert label 3 means Wazuh will only log alerts which severity level is 3 or more than 3, not less than that. Remember these things. It will log the alert, and those logs we can see in the Wazuh dashboard or Wazuh threat hunting or a Wazuh security model, right? Now the second option, email alert level 12 means what? Email alert level 12 means Wazuh will only send email if the alert severity level is 12 or more than 12. So what are the options we can input here? We can start from 1 to 16, but the default option is 12. Remember these things, very important, because if you are getting an alert less than 12, by default Wazuh will not going to send you an email. So this is the option you need to configure as per your requirement. Okay, now third option is alert by email option, which is I'll come into this later, but before that I need to show you some other thing. I need to tell you few other things, which is sometimes it happens that you need to send an email based on a rule, based on a trigger, based on a action, based on a location kind of thing, but that time your log severity level is less than 12. So by default, Wazuh is not going to send this email. And if you want to send that email less than 12, you need to use this option, alert by email option. So alert by email, this option will enable Wazuh to send an email forcefully instead of having a higher level of rule set for email triggering. Remember these three things. Okay, now next what I am going to do is I am going to change this email alert label to 5, because we will be going to test email feature, and that time I need these things. Okay, second thing what you need to know is this global configuration. We have 4 options here, which is email server smtp.examplewazuh.com, email from, email to, and max email per hour. Okay, so we need to change it a little bit. Let me show you how you can change these things. So first thing you are going to change, set SMTP server to localhost and send email from your email ID. In my case, let me show you, let me give my email ID here. Okay, now we are not going to give the recipient email ID because we will configure email on lot of conditions. So we are not going to give this recipient email ID. And max email per hour 12 means in an hour Wazuh can send 12 emails. So if you need to increase this, you can change this setting, but for our cases it is okay. Definitely after the testing I'm going to change this email alert level to 12 again, because we don't need that much of email, because we don't want to fool our inbox. Okay. And another very important setting you need to change, which is email notification. By default it is no, set to yes, and then you can do whatever you want to do, because if you are not changing this, no email is going to send. Okay. And max per hour, let's change this to 20. Now let's save this, Control X Y. Okay. And let's drag this. Done, done, and done. Okay, now next case is we need to create an app password for Gmail. For that you need to go your Gmail account, then need to click on your picture on your right hand side, and then click manage Google account. Okay, now come to security, and then you have to have two-step verification on. This is very important. And then search here app password, click this app password. The Google will ask you for the authentication again. I have my authentication. Now let's create an app here. Let me name it to Wazuh. Okay, and create this. Okay, this is the password I am getting from app password. Let me copy this password, and never lose this password, because if you lose this you need to generate again. So let's paste it here, because I need it later on. Okay, now you can close this thing here. It's very simple. Okay, and you can sign out from your Google account, or you can close this tab. Now we need to configure Postfix with Gmail. How we are going to do this? We need to install some packages. I'll show you how you can do this thing. Let's go to Wazuh Manager. Okay, and here I'm using CentOS, so I am going to use YAM. You can, if you are using Ubuntu, you can use apt-get. YAM update, updating the repository, and YAM install Postfix Mailx Cyrus SS. You need to install these two packages. Yes, I'm going to install these three packages, sorry. Yes, it's complete. So now what we need to do, we need to go to this directory by using nano etc postfix, and then main.cf. We'll be using this for using this file, and you need to place a piece of code in somewhere in this file. So I'm not going to go up to the bottom of this file, so I'm going to paste it somewhere nearby here. So let's paste it here, a piece of code I have. I'll share this code with you also. So the code is here. Okay, you don't need to change anything, just place a comment and write down what we are doing, so that we have an idea what we are doing here. Write down email SMTP configuration. So this comment will help us to understand what we did. Okay, now just save this file. Okay, everything is perfect. Now what we need to do, we need to set credentials. Now use a piece of command I'm sharing here, and you need to modify this username and password value. The username and password, the password we already been created from Google app password, you need to give that here. So this is the app password we have created earlier. Okay, and now let's go and change this username as well, because we need to change this username and password, right? And press enter. Okay, so now you need to use another command, which is, this is the command you need to use here. Right, now we have two files created here. Let me show you. Nano etc postfix, and then see, we have two files. One is SASL password, another is SASL password.db. So remember, these two files has everything in clear text. So we need to protect this file by giving only the root user access to it. And how we are going to do this is by using the command chown root, and then need to give the path here, which is etc postfix, and then SASL. Another file is etc postfix, and then SASL.db. These two files I'm giving permission only to root, they can read and write. Okay, let's give the file permission here. Use chmod and use 0600 is the permission, and write down the path here, etc then postfix, and then SASL password, and same thing etc postfix and SASL password.db, right? And press enter. All done from here. Now what you have to do, you need to restart the postfix, and the command is systemctl restart, and postfix is the service name, right? And it's done. Now let's go and send a test mail. We will be using this command. Okay, now in this receiver email, write down your own email address. Okay, let me modify this @ okay, and let's change this configure email to your email address. In both case I have configured my email. Okay, let's press enter. Let's go back to the email and check if we receive anything. Fantastic, we already received the email from my email ID to my email ID, and the text is test email from Postfix, which we have used this test email from Postfix. Okay, so the email thing is working now. Okay, let's check this first. Now we'll be configuring the rule to send email alerts. How we are going to do this? Let's do one by one. First thing is, if the alert label severity is 4 or more than 4 based on the alert label. So let's go to our OSEC config file. OSEC config. Nano var OSEC etc and then OSEC configuration file, and we will be writing this command from here. Okay, we'll start this from here. So let's use Angular tag and use email alert, email underscore alert, Angular tag close. Let's do another. Angular tag. Now I'm closing here. In between, I'll be write down email to, which is email underscore to Angular tag close. Now the email ID you want to give here. Okay, for my case I'm giving a random email, which is bob@gmail.com. Let's close the email to tag. Okay, let's go to the next line and write down here label tag close 4, and again need to close the label tag, right? And use another tag here, do not delay, because we need the email instantly, which is do not delay. Perfect. Now let's go to the tracking. It's done. Next, I will be going to configure email address based on location from where the event is originated. Okay, based on the location. Let's copy this first. We just copy and paste this thing. Okay, press enter and use this paste. This time what we will be doing here, only to change the label we need to change it to we need to change it to event location. So I'm going to delete this label and I will be using event underscore location. Okay, and I'll be giving the value, but let's close the tag first. Event underscore location, and this time I'm not going to send email to Bob, I'm going to send this email to Alice. Okay, I'm conditioning that if the event log is generated from our agent, which is the agent name is, so let's copy this desktop name and come back to your OSEC configuration file and paste this event location here and close the event location tag. Okay, and the same thing will be there. This time we will be going to send this email to Bob, Alice, sorry, and this time we will be going to send email to Alice. Okay, and now let's copy it again and let's create another alert, and this time we'll be creating, but first track this. Done. This time we'll be creating an email alert with rule base. If 111002 trigger, then only the email will be sent. So let's paste this thing first. Okay, and this time we are going to use not the label, this time we are going to use rule ID. rule underscore ID. Okay, and the rule ID will be 111002. Let's close this rule ID. Okay, and this time I'm going to send email to Wiki, right? If the rule ID 111002 trigger, then the email will be sent to Wiki. And let's do the last one, which is configure email can be sent multiple email address, each one with unique criteria. So we already been created these things with unique criteria, which is if the email alert level is 4 or more, then the email will be going to send Bob. If it is generating from a specific location, specific endpoint, then this email going to send Alice. And if the rule ID is 111002 is going to trigger us, then it will send email to Vicky. So we already created this rule, so let's make it done. So last thing I wanted to show you is, see, if you can see here, so our email alert level setting is been set to 5. That means any alert will be, if it is 5 or more than 5, the email will trigger now. Now the thing is, if we go to threat hunting module, now we can see we have lot of logs are, lot of alerts are generated with the level 4. Suppose you need to set a customized alert for one of the level below 5. So what you can do? So that means you need to override the existing global configuration file, and I will show you how you can do these things. So for that, you don't need to change from the global configuration file. Let it be as it is. So let's close this file and go to local configuration file, which is nano var osec etc, then rule, then local configuration, local underscore rule dot xml. Here create a separate customized rule. So let's create a customized rule with group 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 name equal to, let's create a customized group rule. Any name you can give. Let me give a rule name which is send email. Okay, and let's close this thing. Okay, now close the group tag. Okay, in between write down a rule, customized rule, which is rule id equal to, for example, we will be giving rule id 111, definitely within quote 111003. Okay, and let's close. But before that, set the label, for example 4, quote close. And here also we need to close the rule. Okay, and in between write down if seed, if underscore seed, closing tag, if underscore seed. In between we will write down, let's find a rule name which is 60608. Let's take this one, 60608. So what will happen now? It will happen like if 60608 triggered, then 111003 will be triggered with level 3. And now we need to override the email global setting, which is options, by giving you options tag, then close the option tag again, options, and in between write alert by email, alert underscore by underscore email, right? This is the thing you need to write down. For your for your observation, you can write down a description. It will help out to identify your finding. Description. Okay, and in between you can write down anything as per your requirements. Let me give you a customized description, which is email sent forcefully overriding global rule. Okay, so I have given this customized description to test our email overriding thing. If we have any other global setting, we can override this by using this piece of code here. And I am going to test this by enable and disable this USB drive. Let's see what happened now. I disable this now. Let's enable it again. I should get email now. Lot of email I should get now. Yeah, I started getting emails. Let's go back to Google. Let's refresh the sent item. See, I started getting emails. A lot of the emails I started getting one by one. One of the email will be valid. This is the one. This is for alert level for 111002. I should get here 111002. This is for my USB drive, and apart from all other emails, those are all the randomized email ID like the Bob, Alice, those are not available, so those are getting failed, but the emails are going now. Thank you, and let me know if you have any question. I'll try to solve them. Thank you, and I'll upload more videos on Wazuh.